Oh my God, since 2001!
18 years. The last match of TNT was Sting beating Ric Flair. And now the Stinger is here on AEW.
Hinted on it at the Bill Goldberg one, and now here we are. Sting's last match. Gotta just open this book up. I mean, this is the most that the book's been opened in a while.
In a row, at least, too. You know,
yeah.
We usually only open it up and then
I put it back on the shelf.
Yeah, read a chapter of it. You know, it's like that one book you just can't finish, but just keep going back to it.
Here we go. This one, unlike the previous last matches, for those of you keeping track, this is number 4. I did Ric Flair's, did Hulk Hogan's, I just did Bill Goldberg's. Now we're on Sting's. The difference with this one, since Sting is with AEW, I get to play with Tony Khan's toys.
Yeah, and
So,
you know, and one of these last matches has to happen eventually. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just give us one, Conrad, right? You don't tease you coming to Detroit and not come, then not give us a last match, Conrad. All right, one of these has to happen.
This one, like I said, this is a AEW, Ring of Honor, New Japan, and Impact Wrestling joint show.
Big bucks.
So,
big bucks.
So on the weeks leading up to this, Sting announces that he's going to retire. It's going to be at a big show AEW is putting on. He was about to say which pay-per-view it was. Tony Khan comes out, says, you know, all these other guys are getting, you know, pay-per-views named after them. This is going to be, you know, Sting's last match, the Scorpion's last drop.
You know, this would be like a week before. It's next week. Tony Khan has a huge announcement. And then
Sting tells Tony, thank you. You know, does he have an idea of who he's going to face? Tony Khan puts the mic up to his lips, but before anything can happen, the Jericho Appreciation Society comes out. First, Jericho stands at the top of the ramp. Says, when will these legends give it up? I beat Hulk Hogan back in WWE. I beat Ricky Steamboat, Roddy Piper. I beat Ric Flair. How many of these old guys, I beat Shawn Michaels, do I just have to send out to pasture? Looks like you're the next one, Steve. Sting laughs. And then he beats his chest as he does, and he says, I will see you in the main event. So there we go. Sting, Chris Jericho, one-on-one in Sting's last match. We have a lot of card to fill up. That same night, Dustin Rhodes comes out, talks about how he's seeing a lot of his friends retire. And even some of them pass away at an early age. And he's heard the rumblings that without his brother, he wouldn't be anything. Without his dad, he wouldn't be anything. So Tony Khan, if you could grant him one wish, he wants to have a 30-minute Iron Man match with none other than Bryan Danielson. Again, Tony Khan comes out. Dustin, you know, you're getting older. Why an Iron Man match? Why Bryan Danielson? And Dustin runs down his career. Of everyone he's faced, everyone he's been in the ring with, wants to prove that he can have his last rodeo at Sting's last match. Tony says he'll talk to Danielson and he'll be right back. As the night goes on, again, we get Jeff Jarrett backstage, and he just laughs about all these old-timers, and how, oh, they're the last outlaw, or, oh, it's their last rodeo. Jeff Jarrett's always here, baby. So he doesn't know what the problem is. And again, he's beaten Sting. He's beaten, Dustin, whether he's Gold Dust, Dustin, Black Rain, whatever makeup he wants to put on that day. People forget that Double J is a multiple-time heavyweight champion, multiple-time tag team champion. Hell, he held Vince up so that way he'd have to lay down for a woman. Double J is wrestling. And all of a sudden, that's Mark Briscoe comes into the fold. He says he does not like how he's talking about legends like Dustin, like Sting, the individuals that got him and his brother excited to watch wrestling. Jeff Jarrett has a smirk, and he slaps Mark across the face. He says, you think you're the only person that's lost someone in this industry. My dad just passed away a few months ago. My brother, even though we weren't blood, my brother Owen died before my eyes. And you think because you just lost to your brother, you can come in here and talk to me? What have you done in this industry? Nothing. A scuffle happens. As the next match on AEW takes place, we get word that another match has been signed for Sting's final match. Jeff Jarrett, Mark Briscoe. Next week on Dynamite, Arn Anderson begins the show. He talks about how, he and Ric Flair essentially brought Sting into the business. He is a little upset knowing that Sting is going to be retiring, but he knows it's time. And while people are making challenges and making matches, he has won a couple of guys that he used to help produce. FTR, I want to see you guys face my new horseman, Pillman Jr., and my son, Brock Anderson, at Sting's last match. And that's the same night, Darby Allin's in the ring, interviewed by Tony Schiavone. And Darby says he doesn't need a match on the card. Knows Sting's going to do well. Be there in the rafters watching in case the Jericho Appreciation Society comes out. He's not too worried because he knows that Sting can handle it. Lo and behold, Paul White comes to the ring. He looks down and he mocks Darby's size. Not only his height, but his weight too. He says, I'll never understand what Sting saw in you. I'll never understand why Sting kept saying you were one of his best partners ever. Doesn't Sting remember WCW when he and the Giant and Rough Shot were tag champions at one point? And that's Darby says, well, maybe Sting forgot about you just like the fans have.
Oh.
You could tell this angered Paul White. He put his hand up. He knocked out Darby. He leaned to the mic and said, see if you can say that when we're in the ring with each other. Another match signed. Then we get word that New Japan is sending Jeff Cobb and Lance Archer over to be included in a fatal four-way match. This match will be called the Dusty Rhodes Clubberin' Classic, as it will be Samoa Joe, Wardlow, Jeff Cobb, and Lance Archer. This match will be reminiscent of the Fatal Four Ways in WCW that involved the likes of Haku, Barbarian, Scott Norton, etc. There we have the match card. Finally get to the event. To open it up, none other than friend of the retirement matches, Ivan Dallas Page. Excited to be here. He's excited to be back in AEW. He's got friends wrestling throughout the card. He just wants to wish Sting Good luck. Sudden, Sting's music hits. And out comes not the Crow Sting, but the Surfer Sting. Wait a minute. If the camera zooms in on him, it's none other than Heath Slater from Impact in his Stang makeup. He comes out, he does a couple woos, and he says he's glad to be here, baby. Only to eat a diamond cutter. DDP stands up, tells the fans, hope they enjoy the show, and he leaves. Opening match is, of course, Pillman and Anderson against FTR. Pillman and Anderson are wearing the classic Horseman jackets, kind of like FTR used to. Arn Anderson out there with them. FTR stands at the top of the ramp and says, Arn, you aren't the only Horseman. You don't get to decide who's a new Horseman. You'll have to go through us and this man, and they welcome back Tully Blanchard into the fold. FTR and Pillman and Anderson have just a hard-hitting match. Keep going at each other. Just tag move after tag move. This is what tag team wrestling's about. And then Pillman rolls up Dax and gets the 1, 2, 3, and they celebrate on the way out. Arn Anderson looks like he has his new Horseman all set up. FTR then are in the ring, and they are disappointed. Tully tries to console him until they both drop Tully. Arn Anderson and Pillman, as well as Brock, appear at the top of the ramp again. Arn tells Tully, this is payback for all the times you've screwed me, Tull. They get in the ring with FTR. Arn's in the middle, and the 5 of them hold up 4 fingers, signifying a new Horseman, or as Arn Anderson calls them, to get around copyright, the Stable. All White lumbers down to the ring. He's overconfident. 7-foot giant. He's just going to squash this little man. Darby comes out. He's wearing his Darby and Sting combo face paint. Stand face to face. White instantly, as the bell rings, tries to hit the knockout punch. Darby ducks it. Backs into the corner. All White runs at him, tries to hit him. Darby ducks under that. All hits his arm on the turnbuckle. You can tell it irritates him. Tries to run after Darby again. Darby then kicks the knee out of the giant. Falls to one leg. Then kicks the other leg out. Now he's down on both knees. White tries to reach out to do a choke slam. Darby then takes that arm and does a DDT to the arm. White tries to stand up again. Darby does a version of a curb stomp. Paul White. Paul White is groggy. Darby quickly runs up the turnbuckle and hits the coffin drop. A 1, 2, 3. Paul White kicks out at that 3.5, but it's too little too late. Darby gets out of the ring, faints and laughs at Paul White, and then makes the motion, oh, you're a big man, but you're kind of a dumb and slow man. Paul is furious, punching the turnbuckles. He choke slams the ref. In this case, David does beat Goliath. Who knows? Maybe this is a sign of things to come. Darby can overcome the odds. Maybe his mentor, Sting, can. Next match is that 30-minute Iron Man between Dustin Rhodes and Bryan Danielson. This would honestly be a dream match at any point in their careers. I believe that obviously Bryan Danielson would win. It would be a scratch and claw for Dustin. And I think this would be a good send-off for Dustin as well. And the next match would be Jeff Jarrett versus Mark Briscoe. Mark would come out first. Then you'd hear the reach for the sky. And then it would turn into Jeff Jarrett's laughing into the theme. Jeff Jarrett does everything he can to mock Mark. But of course, Mark looks to be overcoming it. until Jay Lethal jumps over the barricade and knocks him from the turnbuckle. Jeff picks Mark up, hits him with a stroke, locks in the figure 4. Mark Briscoe doesn't tap, but he also doesn't get his shoulders off the mat. Jeff Jarrett gets the 1, 2, 3, gets to celebrate for one more night. Next up, we've got that fatal 4-way. As I said, the Dusty Rhodes Clubberin' Classic. If you're unfamiliar with clubbering, like I said, it's when it's before the big meaty men slapping meat meme came around. It was whenever, larger guys were just punching each other, and that's Dusty Rhodes always exclaim, the clubbering, the clubbering. That's why I picked these 4 for this one. With this, I'd have Samoa Joe take the win. I'd actually have him choke out Jeff Cobb to hopefully continue some sort of feud onto Ring of Honor TV. Now here we are in the main event. Chris Jericho versus Sting. Jericho comes out first. Each member of the Jericho Appreciation Society comes out in different Sting garb. Jack Hager is Joker Sting. Sammy Guevara is Wolfpack Sting. So on and so forth. Just mocking the man that this night is for. They all stand in the ring. They all do Sting taunts. And then Jericho grabs the mic. In a honest show of respect, something that we haven't seen from Chris in a long time, tells his boys that it's been fun. They need to get in the back, and he needs to put Old Yeller down himself. They can't believe it, but they listen to their leader. They all head to the back. Jericho gets ready for what could be the biggest match of his career. Video plays showing all of Sting's great moments. Beating Ric Flair for the Heavyweight Championship. Beating the NWO. Coming back to Impact. His return to wrestling at AEW. Like Ric Flair, he comes out wearing the big gold belt. And as he's walking backstage to get to the ramp, you see him get greeted by friends. DDP, Great Muta, Ric Flair, wishing him good luck, telling him to get out there, and then even Ric Flair tells him, go kick his ass, Sting. Sting steps through the curtain, and the fans erupt. And this is going to be the final time that the Stinger's stepping into the ring. The AEW run has been nothing but surprise and nothing but positives for the fans, considering like myself, they thought the last time that Sting was in the ring was taking that nasty buckle bomb from Seth Rollins. Sting gets in the ring. The bell rings. Jericho slaps him, points and laughs. Sting looks down. He looks up and he beats his chest and flexes right in front of Jericho's face. 2 are off. You always talk about how you need a good dancing partner. And I think Jericho's proven it even up to this point, even with people being dickheads and making fun of his physique. He still has it. So having someone like him and someone like Sting, this match is choreographed out, and Sting is protected to perfection. As the match is going on, ref gets knocked down. Jericho can tell he's in trouble, so he kind of motions to the back. Although he wanted to be alone, Sammy Guevara runs out. He doesn't get in the ring himself. He tosses a bat in. Jericho goes to grab it. All of a sudden, descending down from the rafters is Darby Allin to grab the bat, wave his finger in Jericho's face telling him no, and then he goes back up. Jericho wasn't shocked. That was the only thing he could think to do. As he's getting up, he sees that Sting has already beat him to his feet. Sting hits him with some chops, throws him to the rope, hits him with a spine buster, picks him up, gorilla presses him. Jericho begging for forgiveness. No, I don't want to do. I shouldn't have done this. You're a legend. Please. Somehow locks in the walls of Jericho. This be it for Sting. He's had the bad back. Jericho turns it into the lion tamer, so his knee is pressing right against his neck. What is Sting gonna do? Sting powers out. And in true Sting fashion, he does his version of hulking up one more time. Finally throwing Jericho into the turnbuckle. Finally hitting a Stinger splash. Jericho's wobbly. He turns to the Scorpion Death Drop. He pulls him to the middle of the ring, looks around as he has Jericho's legs. He locks him in the Scorpion Deathlock. Seconds into locking it in, the pain is too immense, and Jericho taps. Sting's music hits. First, colorful confetti falls, then white and black, then red and black, and finally all the colors at once. This was truly Sting's last stand. Winter has came, and winter has now went. That's Sting's last match, his last show, his last hurrah.
I think that'd be a great way for him to go out, and I think we put a cap on. You kind of talked about it earlier, about how like surprising and great this last run as a whole has been with AEW. For him to go out like that against Jericho, doing what he does, like essentially what he does best in every Sting match he's had. This would be his first like one-on-one match in AEW. Yeah, I think he could do it, especially with Jericho.